Over the past 2 weeks, I have dedicated myself to climbing in League of Legends, and with good results. In this weekly review, I will go over what really helped me and what I would advise you to start doing as well, if you are really dedicated to climbing. Before we get started, I would like to mention that this weekly review is part of a series on this channel called The Climb. In this series, I apply methods that I was taught during my courses of sports psychology in order to climb as healthy and good as possible, all the way to Challenger. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as I upload daily, and every Sunday I will be doing one of these videos where I talk about what helped me during the week and what other things I will be implementing. There's a lot more to come, so stick around. So, this was our week. As you can see, we gained 381 LP over the span of 9 days. We are currently in Emerald 4 with a 60% win rate after being stuck in Gold 4 for the past few seasons. Let me take a minute to say that I'm quite proud of myself. Please, do not forget to compliment yourself for your progress, even if you haven't achieved your goals quite yet. You are doing amazing things. Last week, we set our goal to improve our CS. We planned to do this by going into practice tool and last hit for about 5 minutes before we started playing our daily games. I am pleased to say that last hitting in general has been going better. There are definitely games on our list that have a higher amount of CS, and I do notice that in those games I am getting my items a lot quicker. However, our average CS per minute is 6.2 this week, while we aimed for 7.0. It is a 0.3 increase on average, but I think we can do better. I would like to practice last hitting for 10 minutes instead of 5, as I have noticed that spending a little extra time in the practice tool helps me warm up better, and I noticed that this extra practice translates well into our games. Besides that, we cleaned our desk last week. And I gotta say, hard recommendation. I feel more focused during the games, and I really believe that this is partially because we have way less clutter on our desk. The challenge here is maintaining a clean desk, of course, as things easily get piled up. So far, I noticed once our desk was starting to become a dumping spot again, and I immediately tackled the issue, and so far, it has not happened anymore. Good job me. We also started stretching in between our games and taking a long break between our second and third game of the day. The stretching has been absolutely wonderful, and I feel like it is a good idea for you to start doing as well. It is a good way to get the blood flowing again, and it takes minimal effort. I, personally, do a little stretching routine that takes around 90 seconds. I stretch my arms, my legs, and my back. After stretching, I just feel way more energized and fresh. If you hate stretching, you could always do some jumping jacks or push-ups, whatever you prefer, as long as you stand up and get some movement. I think this method works fine. Now, for the big break. I actually have the feeling we come back worse from it. The past 2 days I have not taken a break, and I have felt better during my third and fourth game. I think I will only now take a break when I start tilting, and during this break I will do something away from my monitor. I think usually we start the days pretty good, and that taking this break kind of destroys our hot hand a little bit, so yeah. In conclusion, cleaning the desk helped, practicing CS helped, stretching helped, but taking the big break did not help or felt detrimental. Now, the past week, we struggled with some things during our games. Our first struggle, which you have not noticed much of yet, is my feelings of pressure and anxiety when it comes to playing these games. I'm taking the series very seriously, and as a result of that, I try my absolute hardest every single game. This means that I'm often quite nervous when I get into the game, not necessarily ranked anxiety, but more performance anxiety. So, in order to counteract this, I've been trying to self-talk. I mentioned this during episode 16 and 17 of The Climb briefly this week, but now I can shed a little bit more light on it. Self-talk is essentially just talking to yourself and convincing yourself of your capabilities. For example, I could load into a game and reassure myself that I'm good at CSing, that I will be able to win the lane, and that I'm capable of carrying the game if I have to. These little words of reassurance to myself have unironically done wonders. Not only has a large body of research already indicated this, but noticing these effects yourself is quite eye-opening. When I self-talk, I significantly feel less performance anxiety. However, important to note is that when practicing self-talk, doubt should be avoided. If my self-talk should conflict with my actual performance, let's say I tell myself I got this lane or I will win this lane, and the lane ends up being even or losing, I may end up doubting myself or the practice that I put in and end up being worse off. It is thus important that you choose well what you will say to yourself. Another point is that depending on your motivation and what you prefer, negative self-talk might be more effective. So, if you're a little bit more freaky and like to punish yourself, telling yourself that you are bad and overcoming that mantra might be more beneficial to you. However, I suggest positive self-talk will be better for most of you, so I would stick to that. The next point that I would like to address is tilt. Tilt is universal, and unfortunately for us, tilt is solved in a variety of ways. It is an issue that does not have a one-size-fits-all type of solution, so it will take some navigating in order to find what works well and what doesn't. So I thought about this long, and I went over a plethora of possible solutions, and this is what I came up with for the foreseeable future. First off, when tilt occurs, we will take a break from the game afterwards. During this break, we will be away from our computer/monitor and preferably do something that takes our mind off our last game as best as possible. For me, this will probably be playing my guitar. However, it would be even better if we could prevent tilt altogether, right? And in order to achieve this, I think it might be time to get a little bit more active. Yes, that is right. It is time for us to start exercising. Now, you might think that exercise and physical health has nothing to do with esports, but you would be wrong there. There has been a lot of research done on this, and it turns out that if you're exercising before you play your games, your performance is higher than it would be if you would be rested. Moreover, it has also shown positive effects on one's response to stress and ability to cope. So to be honest, I see this as 2 birds with 1 stone. In fact, it might be 3 birds with 1 stone. We become more physically healthy, we perform better, and we tilt less. I am planning on doing daily running exercises. I've never done running or jogging as a sole element before, so I will have to look into it, how I can do this as healthy as possible. But I want this to be a cheap series. I would like it to be as accessible as possible, so wherever I can save money, I will do it, and that's how I chose running. That was quite a long talk again, and hopefully you have learned something from this video and from the series so far. I know I have, and I really hope we can push further as hard and as fast as we have been doing. However, I think we are about to begin the hardest part of this challenge. So subscribe, leave a comment and a like. Do not be afraid to leave some feedback or tell me how these things have affected you personally. I would love to read about it. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye!